Tell me more about that movement. I've got a few people coming in a bit, but apparently it was moved before this crisis, so before the FTX blowing up, about 2-3 weeks ago.
I couldn't tell you exactly when it was moved, but I know that it's only just coming out. And of course, with the way things are, it spooked quite a lot of people. And the net outflows, go onto the net outflows for crypto.com right now, and you'll see they are completely mudded. Like, they're in a bad way.
All right,
And if the rumors are true that 20% of their reserves is in Chi, then they are definitely screwed.
Can you send me through the link where we can see the, when you get someone from Nansen back on the show, the link where we can see the outflows? I think that's the best indicator how fucked up an exchange is.
Yeah, who pulled the data for us last time? I shared it on my Twitter, but I'd have to scroll back.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Do you tweet a lot? Is it gonna be easy to find it?
I do. It's probably gonna be like 3 minutes worth of scrolling.
All right, let me bring up the man himself, Kim. Yeah, I'll find. So Romy, if we can go through. Did you retweet, Jay? Did you retweet a Nansen tweet? Do you remember what it was? Was it a chart? Just so the team can find it.
I'll have a look as soon as I stop driving in about 3 minutes time. But it's crazy what's happened there. I mean, I did send you guys some information about how it all correlates, and including with the SEC and the connection back to MIT and their possible, plan to bring them down to potentially help give a launch pad to their launch of the CBDCs at MIT. All of the information I sent over to you in DMs last night after you went off, it was all coming out.
All right, I'm going to check this out now, and Chet should be awake shortly. Kim, I've sent you through an invite to co-host, Mr.com, so you should be able to accept that, Kim. Are you requested now?
I also sent you a link to the GitHub article about it, which has got all of the data and the coding for it.
Can you break it down for us now?
Yeah, I will do. As soon as I stop driving, I can have a look at it properly, and I'll come back to you.
All right, perfect, man. Kim, I've just sent you through the invite. Perfect. How are you, Kim?
Very good. Did you have a good sleep?
I did. I got 8. It took me a while to fall asleep, and my partner, she was sleeping next to me, and she started, no joke. So I was already a bit worried. I got a few DMs and messages that got me a bit worried. So the house is locked up. My team is getting me someone to, some security or somebody, but not that quickly. Maybe the next day. And then, but I'm chill. Like, I'm like, day one, shouldn't be worried. And then for some reason, she never hallucinates, never sleep talks. For some weird ass reason, last night, not only did she hallucinate, I was just relaxing. I think she saw the light of my phone. I'm reading the tweets and stuff, and she freaks out. Who's this? Who's this? Why is there a shadow? And I freaked the fuck out. Yeah, I freak out, man. So then that delayed my sleep by another 30, 60 minutes. But I was dead. But yeah, I got 8 hours of sleep. How about yourself?
No, very good, man. I had good rest, and then I saw that Elon tweeted out that you are now the civil journalism hero #1, man, on the internet.
That was very cute. Yeah, it's insane how much engagement he gets every time he tweets or even replies. The amount of influence he has is crazy. Did you see also how Elon was also... I was reading an article. He genuinely had, that iffy feeling about Sam. Because I think Sam wanted to invest in Twitter, and then he asks Morgan Stanley or someone, is he even liquid? And I can't remember what he said, but he's like, it gives me the whatever feeling. So... Not sure. I would give him credit there. Did you see the crypto.com?
Well, he says his bullshit sensor was triggered by Sam. So he's a clever guy, I mean, he has a lot of experience with that.
I've got chat that will be coming in shortly. Just give us an overview of all the news as soon as he wakes up. But in the meantime, the crypto.com story. If anyone can give us shed more light on this, do put your hand up. And if any of the speakers, who do we have? We've got Jay, we've got Dan. How are you, Dan? Can you hear me? Dan?
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
Did you look into the Crypto.com transfer of funds to Gate?
I'm looking at it right now. I'll get back to you in a few minutes.
Yeah, if you can break it down, look at the transaction hashes. It was apparently, so Chris doesn't want to join and comment on it. I was the CEO. I was just DMing him before the show. Which generally, when someone's happy to be transparent, coming on the show like this and giving people peace of mind when there's an influx of outflows at your exchange is probably the logical thing to do. But we're going to have the numbers shared by Jay in a bit. But apparently Crypto.com is getting hammered in terms of outflows. We'll try to get someone from Nansen. Gary, Dave, how are you?
GM, Dr. Freeman, man. Appreciate the space. Mate, you're killing it. Absolutely smashing it. G'day, Kim. Just wanted to throw something out regarding the Crypto.com. So, I don't know if you recall, but it was back in August that Crypto.com actually accidentally sent, I think it was around 10 mil to some poor chick in Melbourne that ended up spending it, putting a deposit down on the house. But that was clearly accidental. So, separate to what's going on with the Gate.io, I mean, it was a major fuck up, but that was accidental. It went to one individual chick. I think she ended up having to give her it all back after putting it down on the house. I just wanted to throw that out there.
So that's more of a positive one. She got 10 mil. Alan, man, you gave us a breakdown, I think it was like 4 days ago now, of all the outflows from the various exchanges at Nansen. You've got all the data. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's probably a few Allens lying around, but it's interesting. I want to talk about the Bahamian picture. Like, they're still allowing withdrawals. Like, the financial laws in the Bahamas are very interesting. So I'm curious to see going forward if projects will be supported by having headquarters there, especially after this kind of fallout.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I thought you were the other Alan, the Nansen Alan. I apologize, man. Trying to get, if anyone, Simon's here, but we're trying to get Alan from Nansen to come on. Just to share the outflows of from the various exchanges. Simon, do you have the link where we can see the outflows from Nansen?
What's that, for Crypto.com?
No, there's Nansen has a link. I really want to get it. If anyone has it, please DM it or just tweet it and tag me. And it shows you the outflows for the various exchanges. I want to see, because a few people are telling me Crypto.com is getting destroyed.
Yeah, there's some shady shit happening at Crypto.com.
I'm just having a look now, 10:51. The last one's at 10:51 in the morning. Gate, Warby, Crypto.com. Okay, there it is. ERC.
If anyone's got any funds left on any of these lending platforms, get off this space and withdraw them right now.
I can't imagine anyone keeping any funds on those. But in terms of Crypto.com transferring a few $100 million to Gate, and then Gate sending not the same amount back. Actually, there's a difference of like 40, 50 mil they haven't sent back. You've been in the space for a while. Is that something that does happen? And why would Crypto.com be sending the funds to a corporate account at Gate?
No, absolutely not. If you've got client funds this is your liquid capital that you're meant to be holding for clients, there's no reason whatsoever why that should make its way to an exchange and come back with less money. I can't think of any rational explanation for why that.
Even if, let's say, Gate.
Yeah,
go
I
ahead,
think the tweet that Chris made, right, where they said that we send it to the wrong address, and these are customer funds. I mean, how would anyone still have any crypto on Crypto.com after such a tweet? How can you make a mistake like that with customer funds and then not get the full balance returned? 35,000.
My question, let's say they got the full balance returned. I'm just trying to understand, why would they send it to a corporate account at Gate? Now, they're saying It's a mistake, but...
There's no reason.
They're back-testing how to get their liquidity off the platform.
Who said this?
Me, Jay.
That's a joke.
Just to confirm me. I don't know, bro. Anything said, I just want to verify it now.
At times like this, you say a joke. And
in reality, though, who casually sends 500 mil by mistake to the wrong account? I mean, and I wouldn't trust them with their money, even if that was a genuine mistake.
You can't afford to make mistakes like that. There's no way in hell, when you deal with customer money, that you can afford to make a mistake like that. And anyone who's seen this now, this tweet has been flying around everywhere now, needs to understand that that's not prudent business practice, and people should withdraw their funds.
Tim, this is not like going to the shop. It's not like going to the shop and getting like £2 less change in your change. It's not like that.
Good morning. Mario, welcome everyone. I don't know if you saw what I talked about yesterday in the group, but I was an early investor in Crypto.com, and they've consistently done shady stuff, especially like, look, when we're talking about all the stuff that FTX has been doing, and we're looking at, leveraging money against your own token and whatnot. Crypto.com did the same thing in the beginning. They had a token, MCO, that they literally evaporated and then created a new token, CRO, and made us all, they forced us to liquidate our MCO token for this new inflated CR token. Look at the price action. Look what
Why
CRO
was that?
has
What was the
done.
reason for that?
A long email and thread. We can go back. It was back in 2018. I would have to go back and look, but it was basically some tokenomics bullshit. I've consistently been a harsh critic against Crypto.com ever since they screwed the community, because we were pissed. We were the original purpose. So let's just go back. The original purpose of Crypto.com was they were going to have this credit card, and back in 2018 we didn't have any sort of payment rails to use the card or anything, or whatever we did have was very limited. So you had to buy this MCO token and have a certain amount in order to get these different tiers of credit cards that you wanted, or cards that you could now spend your crypto using this card. And I got one of the top tiers, so I spent a lot of money to get this card, and only for them, months later, to not roll out the card, then say we had to exchange our MCO token for this CRO token at a lesser cost. So when we had to transfer our funds, we got less crypto. It was less USD value. We were pissed. And they didn't compensate. It was just like, oh well, this is what we're deciding to do. And this was done by the CEO, the same guy who just said 400 million accidentally, quotes, to the wrong wallet. Like Kim was saying, like, who does that? Like that, and let's just talk about it. I'm right down the street from their Crypto.com center. Like there's a pattern here.
Yeah, and I like everyone to get ready, because later into the session, I've done some work on Binance today, and I found some shit that I want to tell you guys about, and then you tell me what you think. But we do that later when the room has filled up a little bit. It's pretty crazy, but go ahead.
Jesus, Kim. Where did this come from, Kim? I wasn't prepared for it. I thought you were sleeping since we did the show.
No, I only slept 6 hours because this whole thing was, keeping me pumped, and I wanted to do some homework, because I've seen this tweet from CZ yesterday where he replied about this Bloomberg story about the reserves that Binance has, and there were a couple of giveaways in there. And I was just, while I was dozing and sleeping, I was just thinking, wait, the moment I wake up, I'm going to do some research there. And I found some pretty incredible stuff. So I'm going to explain that to you later. And I think it's just as bad as this Crypto.com stuff. But you will be the judge.
Whew, Simon, I need you there, Simon. Okay, when Kim starts breaking this shit down, because I wasn't expecting Binance to get into the discussion.
Yeah. Also be nice, because I'm going to talk about things that may be legally sensitive. So if we have anyone in the audience who is a lawyer, I don't know if Ira is up already. Probably not. He may join us later. But if there's anyone here who is an expert on anything to do with digital assets or the crypto space and is a lawyer, then, please weigh in. I don't know if is Irina here?
Irina, we'll bring her up, and we've got a lot of requests to speak. So, she is? She's in the audience, is she?
Yeah, she is. So maybe she can weigh in on that later.
Yeah, of course. So, Irina, if you can stay here for when Kim starts giving us information about his research into Binance, it would be great to get your thoughts on it. In the meantime, I've got Mary on stage. Go ahead, Mary.
Hey, Mario, Kim. It's interesting that you just mentioned that, I don't know if you saw CZ's tweet, but he was talking about, that if an exchange has to move large amounts of crypto before or after they demonstrate their wallet address, that pretty much is a clear sign of problem. So there's a lot of shady stuff going on out here, and, you guys having these spaces and, bringing truth to power and checking a lot of this misinformation that's going out there. It's really helpful to everybody that's listening out there. So I appreciate you staying up late. And I was in there from the beginning when you started yesterday and went pretty much 24 hours. And then Elon came in here, and actually Simon's been having a lot of spaces as well. So this is so incredibly helpful to get the news like by the second, pretty much. It's not even by the minute, it's by the second.
No, I appreciate you. Just everyone requesting to speak. What I will do now is just got a lot of requests. We're going to be bringing speakers constantly, so you got to be patient. But I'm going to, Romy, if you can just reject all requests. And guys, only put your hand up if you can comment on the Crypto.com story, or if you have breaking news, please, just to keep it focused. And I think we have someone from Crypto.com on stage. Red Falcon, you've got balls, my friend. Really appreciate it, because I DM'd Chris. He was really nice, but he didn't want to come on. So appreciate you coming on stage.
That's fine. I'm not going to be a spokesperson. I'm from our NFT division as community manager. No, it just as a simple. It's my day off. No, I was just curious and stuff in terms of the discussion in which is happening in the group, because obviously over the last few days there's been a lot of FUD and stuff about Crypto.com and stuff as a general. And
can we say it's not FUD? It's
I was
FUD.
gonna say this is not FUD, brother.
Well,
FUD implies
it can always
that there's nothing
it can always
to worry
be
about.
argued whether it's
There is stuff to worry about, and if you represent that there's nothing, then you're doing a disservice to people that are about to be wrecked.
Oh, I'll rephrase, Simon. That could be wrecked. Even though I'm on your side, Simon. Red Falcon, I just want to kind of give you some props as well. First, you coming on stage, kudos to you. And just to let you know, anyone that came on stage in the last 2-3 days, we had that lady come on from another big exchange, and the amount of support she got is insane. So first, you coming on stage, I respect and I appreciate. And I know you're not representing Crypto.com right now, just someone that at least till now works at Crypto.com. We'll see what happens to Crypto.com over the next few days. I also want to say, before you continue speaking, I'm being extremely careful, and I said that to Chris as well. I want to spread information, and that's useful, that's helpful, especially with the lack of transparency that we're seeing day by day. But at the same time, spreading FUD is harmful. So I'm trying to find that delicate balance. Anything we share that comes from a good source, but we couldn't verify, we say clearly it's not verified in big-ass capital letters. And anything we verify, of course, we share it immediately, because, we said a lot of the things we tweet, a few minutes, hours later, it's confirmed. So I try to come in early. And in some cases, like minutes could make the difference. We had someone come on stage yesterday, I don't know anymore, yesterday, day before, and he was talking about how he was literally 2 hours late, and he was going to withdraw his funds from FTX.com anyway, and he was 2 hours late just by coincidence. Because he heard the news late, and he lost all his fucking money. So timing is important in the space as well. But appreciate you coming on stage, man. Would love you to say your piece.
Yeah, no, of course. Completely understand the balance and stuff. Open discussion and stuff in general is fine. I do think that a lot of the things in which some people do say are kind of self-fulfilling in some way, if that makes sense. If you kind of think there's going to be panic, then there's going to be panic, kind of thing. No, because I've only listened to this space literally just today. I haven't been through any of the hours. But just sort of curious as the general narrative. Obviously, I know everyone has their own independent experiences with exchanges, some good, some bad. A lot of stories will sometimes get twisted. Like, for example, with the recent move which happened on October 21st of the $500 million US. I know that Chris has already made a comment on that. And, I see a lot of people, for example, saying, oh, it was a mistake. But, I mean, me just as a regular user who has no involvement in that part, or just simply bystander, I'm still failing to see on how people are branding it, for example, as a mistake. I mean, we've got a few hands raised up. Perhaps they can answer the question. But this is just my curiosity and just trying to understand why there is so much immediate panic. Because what I noticed a lot, for example, within the crypto space, especially over the last few weeks and stuff, is that a lot of people will say they'll attempt to predict the worst outcome possible, saying how it's so bad and it's so bad, it's so bad. Because if they're right, then awesome. It feels like that they've become a really reliable source that, has protected someone from losing their funds and stuff, etc., etc. But also, if they turn out to be wrong and that there was no cause for panic and stuff whatsoever, they simply just go back and delete the tweet and pretend it never happened. And none of this actually helps or grow the Twitter space whatsoever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I completely understand if there is something where someone can be protected, as in having a few more extra hours notice that something actually might go really wrong with a particular project and it's good for them to get money out. Completely understand that. But at the same time, a lot of us are going off on wild goose chases. Some of us love the idea of things being as conspiracy theory and being so much more exciting than just a case of, okay, that was a mistake there, but that's nothing to cause alarm and stuff. So I'm just kind of wanting to, I don't know, gauge the room, the community, and why there is so, I mean, like actual conviction, for example, on so many fears in which they have, because a lot of them, in my mind and my vision, seem like a lot of pie in the sky ideas kind of thing.
Do you mind if I take it, Mario?
Yeah, please.
Can I read something to you for a second?
Yeah, sure. More than happy to listen.
Okay. It was supposed to be a move to a new cold storage address, but what was sent to a whitelisted external exchange address. So we're talking about customer funds that were sent in error to the wrong address.
Okay.
Do you understand what that means?
No, I understand if something's been an error and someone has moved funds that they were not supposed to. But what I'm asking is how are we getting that information that this has been done that? Because obviously Chris has made his comment on it, which obviously can be seen on his page. He's made a thread about it and also had the comments from Gate.io.
But Gate won't know.
But this is in his own words. I'm just reading to you what he has tweeted. So This is not from anyone else. This is directly from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
can I ask a few questions? Do you mind? Can I ask what your role is first? Sorry, this is definitely not a witch hunt because you work for the company, and I just want to ask a few questions if I may.
Yeah, that's fine. So I just want to quickly disclaim I have no association with Crypto.com, the exchange and stuff, etc. It's my day off. I'm just here as me. But on my day job, I work as community manager for an NFT project. So nothing in direct impact and stuff or any of this stuff.
But do you don't work in any way for Crypto.com?
I do, but I'm not here as a representative.
So nothing you're saying is a rep, but what is your role in Crypto.com?
Community manager for the NFT within the NFT division.
So Crypto.com has an NFT division, yeah?
Yeah, we have an entire marketplace as well.
Okay, cool. So does Crypto.com offer like fixed terms, or is it instant withdrawals whenever you want to withdraw?
Again, I'm really not a specialist on the. I'm going to stay away from giving any comments about the exchange and stuff itself because it's not something in which I personally use just because I've not had the time to be dabbling in crypto. And I have a simple question for
Right, let me just finish the train of thought. Then I won't ask any more questions. But if the cold hard reality of the market right now is that anyone offering yield on a centralized lending platform right now is got cease and desist orders because they're offering illegal securities that were meant to be disclosed as risky investments and instead were represented as yield on deposits. Now, a percentage of those will be held in custody or they'll be all invested. There's going to hit a ratio when people withdraw, at which point all of those funds are invested and there's no more in custody. So every single crypto lending platform is about to hit that trigger point. And they have to hit that trigger point because the only correct advice in the current market is to take your money off a platform that's offering yield, because at some point it hits that trigger point. And the people that take their money off will have access to that funds. And when it hits a certain trigger point, they'll have to suspend withdrawals. So saying that any of that is FUD, whether you know it or not, may lead to somebody suffering tremendous loss with their money.
No, I'm by no means here to encourage others to keep any funds within the exchange. Everyone's free to do what they want, whether they want to keep it on or
This isn't an
off.
exchange. This is an illegal security that where those funds are being invested without any type of disclosure of what they're doing with those funds.
What's an illegal security? Sorry.
Offering yield for investing people's money.
Okay, so yields and stuff, again, I'm not going to comment on it because I've not even actually dabbled that in that person.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The product that people are trying to get withdrawals from is invested in something. It may be on FTX. It may be invested in somewhere. Wherever it is trying to generate yield right now and therefore cannot be withdrawn. And there is a certain amount of funds that all of these platforms have got uninvested in order to meet their withdrawal obligations.
Hey, Simon, the only problem is we're talking to someone who is a community manager and who doesn't really have any knowledge about any of this. But what you could do, Red Falcon, why don't you tell Chris or his assistant, who I'm sure you have his number or her number of, and ask them to come here, because these are important questions that I think he is better off facing right now and giving us answers that we can work with, because what's going to happen, this room is going to fill up very fast. I'm going to ask everyone in this room who is in the crypto space, tell all your friends to come here right now. Everyone needs to be here in the next couple of hours and hear what's going on in the exchange world and how big the dangers are for everyone. I think it would be the wisest thing for Chris to show up here and answer these questions directly.
I mean,
because otherwise, at the end of the day, it may be that the withdrawals are getting too large for Crypto.com to handle.
I mean, all I would say is this, because again, I'm not gonna take up the space. This is my day off, and I'm just here as my independent self. The only thing in which I can say is just probably echo what has already been said by Chris himself. I completely understand why someone wouldn't necessarily have time to just jump into different Twitter spaces, no matter how popular they are. People got to work and do some stuff. But
people need to save their businesses from collapsing, and we're giving them an opportunity right now.
I have a question that's community oriented. It's right towards you, Red Falcon, since you are.
If I could just jump in quickly, Ninja, because I want to drop out just after saying this, because I'm
sure, but I do have a community related question. It is community, and you are the NFT in charge. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, no. So I just wanted to say that obviously CDC, we're going to post all of our one-on-one reserves. So if someone takes it out or doesn't matter. And also as well, all the clarification which has been given by Chris and Gate.io in terms of those transferred funds. To my mind, I don't think that anything's been non-transparent. Perhaps others will have different opinions. But I think I would just sort of, as Mario sort of said in the beginning and stuff, trying to have sort of like a more open discussion. And I think that as a crypto community, I think we would all benefit and stuff rather than us often running around and panicking, because I think a lot of us will try to set things on fire in the fear of...
Sorry, Red Falcon. The problem that we are having is that $1 billion went missing with the FTX debacle, and now other exchanges are getting heat because they may have had or may have similar problems. So this is not something where we need to calm down and not panic. It's quite the opposite. We need to warn people about what's going on, and we need to make sure that not more people are getting hurt.
But also, can I just say it's impossible to prove one-to-one, because these are invested funds that are generating yield. If they're invested funds generating yield, they're not custody. And so you can't prove them one-to-one. It's not an exchange. These are invested funds. So just saying that they're going to post the one-to-one is impossible. It's not going to happen.
Sorry.
Hey, Mario, Charles Hoskinson just joined. You should make him a speaker or even co-host.
I've made him speaker. I can't make another co-host.
Mr. Red Falcon, real quick question though, since you are the head of NFT community or
not head of NFT, not head of NFT.
Can you just and I have two questions. It's two simple questions. I just want to get through two questions. What is your job? And first of all, thank you for being on stage. I know this is not an easy stage. We understand that you are probably not the right person to talk to for these questions. So I just want to give you that. Thank you for coming up on your day off. Like, really, sincerely, thank you. I do have two important questions, though. What is your job specifically at Crypto.com as community NFT?
So I'm one of two community managers for the NFT project Loaded Lines.
Okay, and what is your job to do with the community, like, just in a nutshell?
Community management can be creating UGCs, being point of contact for both company and holders, organizing IRL events, anything that's sort of within that nature.
Okay. Are you aware of the history of how Crypto.com has treated their community from the beginning of when they were concepted?
I sort of first started getting involved with Crypto.com back in October 2021. So only about a year, basically.
Okay.
What's your concern? What's your concern, Ninja?
Well, I'm just to go back to is like, are you concerned? Like, I when I just spoke earlier, and I don't know if you were in the room, about what they did to the entire community that was expecting their cards and the token swap that they forced upon us. And I just got a flurry of DMs of people talking about, oh yeah, they screwed us, they effed us, this, and I'm just, as a community manager or NFT community, are you aware that basically they screwed over the community and forced us to. Were you aware of that back in the day? I just want to know if you've done the research or you've done the research on the company that you're working.
He is a community manager. He has nothing to do with any of that, and his knowledge about that will be very limited. So if there is anyone at Crypto.com who is in an executive position who would like to come here and answer some questions, that would be highly appreciated. And Red, if you have anyone's number, you should urge them to come here because this is only going to get worse.
Well, there were 65,000 people here.
I'm not gonna peer pressure someone to come to Square. And Ninja, I appreciate the questions and stuff, but yeah, it's not something that I can comment on. The only thing that I can say is that for me personally is that I don't necessarily look where something's been, but rather where something's going, if that makes sense. But that's all I'm going to say on it, and I'm going to drop out. Mario, thank you for having me up.
I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you trying to give clarity. So for anyone in Crypto.com that wants to come up and speak up, as we've had over the last few days with other exchanges, it would be great. And I'll message Chris again, see if he changes his mind. Charles, appreciate you being here.
I'm glad to be here. Hey, Kim, it's good to see you again, man. How you been?
Yeah, very good, very good. Good to see you too. What is your take on all of this? This FTX stuff? I don't know if you're up to speed on what happened to you with Crypto.com. Like, what can you add to this whole story?
Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to interject here just quick because I haven't got a lot of time, and Mario asked me to do some chain analysis of all the Gate.io and crypto.
So I'll let you quickly. So Charles, just 2 seconds done. Anything you found with the chain analysis before we give the mic to Charles?
Yes. So I could do a bit more time, but it looks like Gate.io did send all of the funds back to Crypto.com because there's another transaction where there's 35,000 ETH going back. Now, my assumption would be that Gate.io probably had to move some funds from maybe a cold wallet. That's what I'm going to look at next, because they would have had a point, I guess, where they would have reviewed the hot wallet and seen that they had plenty of liquidity. Then Crypto.com has obviously come and said to them, hey, we would like our 300,000 ETH back. And what I would guess they've done is they've sent partial transactions so that they can protect their own liquidity for the exchange, and then topped up their hot wallet from a cold wallet and then sent the remainder. But I can dig into that a bit more over the next couple of hours, and I'll just ping you if I get more information.